Hey everyone, I'm Andy and welcome to an episode of Mixing Up Tiki. Today happens to be Halloween, so I thought what better time to dive back into the zombie. Now I've done it a few times on this channel and today we're going to be taking a look at the Smuggler's Cove specs. Furthermore, I'm also going to be showing you how to reformat the zombie to make it an even more spirit-forward drink and turn it into an old-fashioned. So, let's do this. Now, as most of us know, the zombie was created in 1934 by Raymond Beaumont Gant, later known as Don Beach, proprietor of Don the Beachcomber in Hollywood, California, and later on across the globe. Now, I've already done an episode where I did a deep dive into the zombie and really tried to recreate it from its original ingredients, and I'll post a card up here and a link in the description below. Since we've done the zombie on this channel before, I thought it'd be really fun to show you how to reformat this cocktail. It's something that happens a lot in the cocktail world. You take a classic cocktail and then reinvent it in a different format outside of its own category. So we see things like a pina colada being reformatted into an old-fashioned. Well, can we take a zombie and do the same thing? Now, an old-fashioned is simply bitter, sugar, water, and spirit. And yet, a zombie includes 10 ingredients. Is it possible for us to cram 10 ingredients into such a simple cocktail? I think so. But before we get into that, let's build a classic zombie. We're going to be using the Smuggler Cove specs today so that we have something to compare it against. To make the Smuggler's Cove zombie, you are going to need aged Jamaican rum, overproof heavy rum, moderately aged rum, velvet falernum, cinnamon syrup, grenadine, white grapefruit juice, lime juice, aromatic bitters, and absinthe. In a shaking tin, add 6 drops of absinthe. 1 dash of aromatic bitters. 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 milliliters of lime juice. 1/2 ounce or 15 milliliters of white grapefruit juice. 1 teaspoon of grenadine. 1/4 ounce or 7.5 milliliters of cinnamon syrup. 1/2 ounce or 15 milliliters of velvet falernum. 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of an overproof heavy rum. I'm going with Hamilton 151. 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters of a moderately aged rum. I'm going with Bacardi 8. And 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters of an aged Jamaican rum. I'm going with Appleton 12. Now add some pebble ice to your shaking tin. And flash blend for about 5 seconds. Grab a zombie glass. And open pour in. Now top with more pebble ice, garnish with a mint sprig, and serve with a straw. And there you have the Smuggler's Cove Zombie by Martin Kate. Let's give it a try. So right up on the nose, I'm hit with this bouquet of mint. From there, it's going to evolve into this spice from the cinnamon syrup, and mine's a little bit potent, let's be honest, and the falernum. And then the rums come in, and they are just a wonderful cacophony of flavors. We've got burnt caramel and Jamaican funk, and then the gold Puerto Rican rum, right? The Bacardi 8 is doing this great job of lengthening things out. There's a lot packed into this one cocktail. I mean, it's 10 ingredients, right? So can we build the same flavor profile in something much more smaller and much more elegant? Well, let's see if we can do it. Now, the inspiration for this cocktail actually came to me because I was about to enter a zombie cocktail competition. And I thought to myself, well, if we want to enter a competition and we want to win it, what if we took the zombie and all the flavors that everyone's used to, but put it into a different vessel? Unfortunately, the competition didn't end up happening, and therefore I felt like I needed to share this cocktail regardless because I think it's, well, delicious. So to make my zombie old-fashioned, or something I'm calling a stately corpse, you are going to need a dark Jamaican rum, an aged Jamaican rum, an overproof heavy rum, my 5-minute falernum, pomegranate shrub, cinnamon tincture, grapefruit bitters, aromatic bitters, absinthe, and salt solution. Now, there may be a few ingredients in there that you're not familiar with, so let's start with the cinnamon tincture. First of all, I did not come up with this recipe. This is something I stole from Truffles in the Rocks. So, JD, thank you so much. And I'll leave a card up here and a link in the description below to the video where he shows you how to make his cinnamon tincture. Essentially, I use the same exact process, but instead of waiting 3 weeks like he does, I sous vide mine at 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. End of story, nothing else is different. Now on to the pomegranate shrub. And the pomegranate shrub is going to provide us with the grenadine that we get in a traditional zombie, plus a hint of that acidity that we would miss from the lime and the grapefruit juice. Because we can't add juice to an old-fashioned, because it's a stirred cocktail, I needed to find a way to still include that acidity while not providing juice. And a pomegranate shrub was the great way to do that. So essentially, shrubs are an old school technique at preserving fruit for the long winter. And essentially what happens is it's called a drinkable vinegar. We macerate sugar and fruit, and then we add vinegar. By lowering the pH of the solution, we actually make it much more shelf stable. So to make our pomegranate shrub, in a blender, combine 261 grams of Pom Wonderful unsweetened pomegranate juice, 126 grams of apple cider vinegar, and 126 grams of white sugar. Then blend on high until all the sugar is dissolved, about 60 seconds. Pour into a sanitized bottle. I really love these new Crew bottles that I got. This recipe makes about 450 milliliters, used within 6 months. All right, well, now that we have all the ingredients, let's get into it. Let's build our stately corpse. In a mixing glass, add 5 drops of salt solution, 1 dash of aromatic bitters, 2 dashes of grapefruit bitters, 1 milliliter of cinnamon tincture, half a teaspoon of pomegranate shrub, half an ounce or 15 milliliters of 5-minute Falernum, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 milliliters of an Overproof Heavy Rum, preferably Plantation OFTD, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 milliliters of an Aged Jamaican Rum, preferably Smith & Cross, 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of our dark Jamaican Rum, preferably Karuba. Now add plenty of scooped eggs to a mixing glass. And give it a good rock stir for about 25 to 30 seconds. Grab a chilled 12-ounce double old-fashioned glass. And spritz the inside with the absinthe. Now drop in a larger rock and strain the contents of the mixing glass over the larger rock. Garnish with an expressed mint leaf. And there you have my stately corpse. Let's give it a try. So automatically on the nose, I'm getting a lot less mint, but it is still there in a very subtle way. That has all the components you love about a zombie, except it's in a much more nuanced form. There's less dilution, and all the flavors are more pronounced. If you thought a zombie punched you in the face with flavor, this thing takes it to a whole new level. But all the flavors are still there. We get the absinthe from the rinse, we get the bitters, we get the grapefruit in the form of more bitters. We get these kind of like spicy clove cinnamon note from both the cinnamon tincture and the Falernum. Plus we get this underlying heat from the ginger, and then the rums are front and center as they should be in any old fashioned. This is a wonderful representation of what a craft tiki cocktail can look like inside of a format a lot more people are familiar with nowadays. Well, there you have it, everyone. 2 zombies for Halloween, 2 very different, but at the same point, very, very similar zombies for Halloween. First, we started with the Smuggler's Cove specs for the 1934 zombie. We then took all those flavor profiles and reinvented them into my version of the zombie, presented in an old-fashioned format that I was going to enter into a competition, but unfortunately that competition never happened, so here we are. You guys get to see it instead. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd really love your support. Definitely make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Go over into the channel and subscribe if you're not already. And then you guys could do me a huge favor and go check out my Patreon. I put out a ton more content over on Patreon, and if you'd subscribe to it, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a happy and safe Halloween. And until next time, well, you guys know the deal. Akoli Maluna. I'm gonna do it's so weird. They're so similar, but yet they still feel different. Anyway, thanks so much, guys.